Okay, I want to take this portion of the podcast to talk to a guy who I've known for many, many years. He's a roofer. He's with Legacy Roofing, and you've heard of lots and lots of different competing roofers. This is a guy who does roofing because I think it's more of a calling than a job. It's Josh Carrion, and you're the founder of Legacy Roofing. And how are you, Josh?
I'm doing really well. Thanks, Bill.
You know what I want to talk to you about? Most of us get a roof once in our lives. Unless we change houses, it's only a once in a lifetime deal. And you got to pick the right roofer in order to get that done. You are all caught up in the roofing process. You've trained your employees about the roofing process. What is that education all about?
There's a National Roofing Contractor Association that has a roofing track program, training for roof application careers.
Okay.
And every single one of my installers, I walk them through that program and then teach it to them on the roof and make sure that they know all the standards that are nationally adhered to. That's meeting code, but then we also certify with our manufacturer, GAF. So every roofer on the roof has 2 different certifications before they ever even get going.
And what is it you give them? Because there's a little bit more than just a couple of certifications. Those are the certifications, and you go one step further because I think you're a science guy. I've always known you to be a science guy.
Yeah, we do. We give a lot of training on water flow and where water is going to go and how it penetrates homes. And so, laying shingles on a roof is pretty simple, but when you get to the details, that's where water is going to penetrate. And so we spend a lot of time training our guys on different transitions on roofing to make sure that water doesn't penetrate by the time we get finished.
Okay, so it's a career for your employees. You want it to be a career, and it is, I think, most of the time. And it's that process. It's going through that process, isn't it?
It sure is. Building a career here, we've got full benefits packages, medical, dental, vision, retirement, all of those things. But there's a process that we follow from start to finish, from the time that you sign the roof with us to processing permits, to operations, scheduling teams coming out with quality managers to be able to make sure the job is done properly, and just buddy checks throughout. And then the closeout and final on the job, we have photos start to finish that we document everything on the house before we go.
Buddy checks. I'm stopping at buddy checks. What's that?
Well, buddy checks is if I'm doing work and my man next to me knows the work that I'm doing and I know the work he's doing, I'm going to stop and check his work. He's going to check my work, and we're going to make sure that together we're doing the right job on a unified front.
That's fabulous. That's a great idea. Now you're taking, and you've been known to take very good care of your employees. And you were talking about the benefits and on for what can be a hard job, roofing. But you're taking care of your employees because you've told me that passes on. Happy employees passes on to your customers. What's your feeling on that?
Well, it sure does. And people like what they're doing. And this is some of the hardest work in construction that you can do. And so if you're doing the hardest work, but you know that you've got backing by a company who cares and by people who are here, they've got freedom and license to be able to serve and always do the right job. We're not cutting costs so that we can cut corners. We're actually doing the right job, and they have full freedom to be able to do the right job every time.
And communication with the people who are paying the bills, that would be your customers. Communication. Is it just a roof, or do you need to talk about that a little bit to let people know what you're doing?
That's a great question, man. It's anybody can come and send a crew to a roof and send a subcontractor or something like that. None of my guys are subcontractors. We have a full customer service department who comes and talks with the customers, make sure the crews have what they need, hydration in the summertime, make sure that the customers are aware of the whole process from start to finish, when we're going to be done. That open communication, there's no room for questions, no reason for people to not know where they're at in the process for the roof.
Well, I know in that communication thing, what kind of roof you're standing on right there?
So this is an asphalt shingle roof. We've done this with GAF Timberline solar shingles. So these, even though they're asphalt shingles, they're still solar shingles. And then This is integrated with some solar panels that are actually built into the roof for solar shingles as well.
That's only one of several different kinds of roof. I'm talking about the communication process, because some roofs are going to take one kind of roof, if you will, and others are going to have another application. What do you do? Do you do different kinds of roofs?
So this is, even though this is an asphalt roof, we could have done this in tile or in metal or in their Da Vinci shingles and synthetic shake and slate. We do all of those types of roofing. And so talking with a customer about what their expectations of their roof is really important. If they're going to stay here for life, they may want to consider a metal roof. If they're just going to be selling the home pretty quickly, they may want to consider a less expensive asphalt roof. If they want longevity and 75 years, they may want to go with a tile roof, something to stand out and look a little different from the neighbors.
Okay, and some are more fireproof than others in fire country?
There are some different fireproofing measures, but most roofs are all Class A fire rated. And so that comes from the sheathing, the underlayment, and the roofing substance.
This is the guy that I've known for a while where the roofing business becomes a passion with him more than just roofing. It's Josh Carrion. And I really want to thank you for joining us and telling us a little bit about what you do, because there's a lot to it. We've barely scratched the surface, and I just appreciate you coming on and telling us a little bit today.
Thanks a lot, Bill. Appreciate you having me.
That'll do it for this edition of the Bill Gephardt Show podcast. And now for the latest in local breaking news coverage 24/7, check out GephardtDaily.com. See you next time.